And I said, so I'm not aware of your problem. Why don't we start at the beginning? And he said, okay. In the beginning, I created heaven and earth. So you see, straight away, I knew what his problem was. If you had to press, it doesn't matter which number you press, no one's going to answer anyway. Some guy said to me one day, he said, Doctor, nobody understands me. I said, what do you mean by that?
Hello there. Welcome to Book Talk. I'm Irene Koncilja. In her best-selling memoir titled Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, psychotherapist and author Lori Gottlieb states the goal of her book is to reveal our shared humanity so that we can see each other more clearly. She also prefaced her story by citing an article from the Journal of Medicine Ethics 1992, which proposes that happiness is statistically abnormal and probably reflects the abnormal functioning of the central nervous system, even though happiness is not negatively valued. So it begs the question, is the pursuit of happiness even a realistic goal? What impulses and defense mechanisms do we use to defer or even sabotage happiness? Does happiness play any role at all in our overall mental health? Well, Lori Gottlieb takes us on a journey of discovery in which she shares not only her personal failures, but also 4 case studies of patients whose lives were going off the rails. They include a 35-year-old terminally ill newlywed, a 20-something alcoholic, an angry scriptwriter, and a 69-year-old depressive considering suicide. Also, Lori is seeing a therapist herself to help sort out her feelings over a bad breakup. Is this meant to be a self-help book? No, not really. This is a story about therapy and about the brave people who are sharing their vulnerabilities, their private longings, and their fears. And I quote, "No matter how open we are about our private lives, our physical health, and even our sex lives, the stigma around our emotional lives is still formidable. It seems we feel ashamed to talk about anxiety, depression, or even grief. And there's the reluctance to get counseling for a lot of different reasons, including the cost, the time, and the worry about finding a good therapist." To that, Lori says, if you go through life making excuses, then you might not recognize that the perfect is the enemy of the good. The perfect is the enemy of the good. At the other end of the spectrum are millions of people in therapy who choose not to admit to it. It's estimated that over 30 million Americans sit on therapists' couches each year. Lori says, when we feel anxiety, depression, or grief, having someone to sit with us in our pain is an invaluable experience. In that setting, you will be heard for who you really are, in spite of the defenses you may put up to keep uncomfortable feelings at bay. In therapy, you may be asked to be both vulnerable and accountable, and that is when healing can begin. So this takes me back to the beginning. I started out with a question about happiness, remember? Well, Lori tells us that scientists have actually come up with a mathematical equation to predict happiness. And the conclusion was, happiness depends on whether things go better than expected. In other words, happiness equals reality minus expectations. I just thought you'd like to know. Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb is a New York Times bestseller, and with over 19,000 reviews on Amazon, has garnered 5-star ratings from 74% of its readers. What a wonderful book. It's wise, it's smart, it's sad, funny, and insightful. It's been opted for a series on ABC with Ava Longoria. It's such a great read, and I too give it 5 stars. Until next time then, I'm Irene Koncilja.